What's up, gang? Michael Edward here, head trader, True Trading Group, July 26th. I cannot begin to tell you how good today feels. Okay, if you guys did not see my video yesterday, please go check it out. I had an extremely frustrating day yesterday. I'm not even going to get into it because it was such a frustrating day. I don't even want to talk about it anymore. But if you did not see my video yesterday, please go check out that video because it'll really give you the context of what I'm about to talk about and why I am so excited as I am, because caught a big trade back in Beyond Meat today. This has been my main focus for the last several days. The stock's been in play. I've been trading it for the past week, short squeeze mode. And yesterday was really frustrating, but today I came right back and nailed it. Okay, what I'm going to cover with you guys in this video, I'm going to touch upon real quick a mental lesson that we can take from the day. But today I'm going to talk to you about actually some advanced positioning and some advanced hedging, because I used put options to hedge a long stock position in Beyond Meat. And once I got confirmation on the long, I dropped those put options, added to my long on the equity on the stock side, and caught like a 10-point move on Beyond Meat. I'm ended up walking away here with a big day, even though I took a loss on the put options. I'm going to go into that and explain that with you guys. This is definitely more of an advanced video about advanced positioning and hedging and using options. And it's cool because I actually just released the options course on True Trading Group. That teaches, kind of the ins and outs of options trading and how you can use them. And this is a really good example of how you can use options in a more advanced way to hedge against a larger stock position. We'll start with the mental lesson, guys, because yesterday I was extremely frustrated. Okay. Really, really frustrated. I was dead right on what Beyond Meat, I thought Beyond Meat was going to do yesterday. It did it. I was coming into the day saying, I think we're going to get a short squeeze up towards 220. We short squeeze right up to 223. And I actually lost money yesterday trying to do so. So it was extremely frustrating. Again, watch that video. But I came into the day. This is why it's so important to have a short memory, because every day is a brand new day that carries brand new opportunities. And I didn't shy away from Beyond Meat today because, it got me yesterday. I didn't shy away from it. The stock was still in play. I stuck to my guns. I followed my rules. I just implemented a little bit more of an advanced strategy with kind of hedging my bet a little bit, because the stock is so volatile. This thing was off the bell. This thing was moving $10 every 5 minutes. I mean, this thing was really whipping around. It was extremely volatile off the opening bell, and things kind of settled down a little bit, and then I went after the trade. But I'm just so happy to finish the week strong with a nice big day on Friday and really be able to nail this trade. It really kind of means a lot to me. Yesterday was a loss that was going to stick with me for a while. I made a joke in chat today to everybody that because Beyond Meat was gapping up to 240. And I was I made a joke that I had nightmares last night because I woke up this morning and I had torn up Beyond Meat burgers all over me. So I must have been ripping up Beyond Meat burgers in my sleep. It's not, it was a joke, but that was how frustrated I was yesterday. So that's the mental lesson, guys. Now it's time for us to get into the technical trade. And again, this is an advanced play where I used a put option to hedge against a long position in the stock. Even though this was a nice big win, there still is some areas that I could have improved. My execution still was not perfect on this trade. The game plan was, the strategy was, but I could have did things a little bit better. I'm going to get into that with you guys now. So let's pan this over. Okay. Here we have Beyond Meat. We had the big gap up. The stock sold off right off the bell, closed the gap. You had a nice big bounce off of yesterday's closing price, big bounce, and then we just bang, broke right down through it. This got a bunch of longs in. We broke right down through it and then took it immediately right back. At this point, I'm saying to myself, I have not a single freaking clue what Beyond Meat is going to do. I didn't know if this was going to continue to squeeze higher. I didn't know if this was this an exhaustion gap, okay, and we're going to roll this back over and we're going to get down towards 200. At this point, I had no idea what this stock was going to do. But I said to myself that, once this stock picks a direction today, it's so volatile. When it picks a direction, it's going to go. And it's going to really stick to that direction, and I'm going to get a big move. So what I started to notice was a nice, strong resistance level at 231. Okay, here's your resistance level at 231. You guys can see that. We then pulled this down in here and we started to find support again at the prior day's close. So here were our two little support areas at the prior day's close. We overshot it, almost created like a real sloppy intraday reverse head and shoulders pattern. Okay, and I'm saying here's this previous little pivot low. We're now staying, but we're now back below VWAP. And I actually did this. I actually drew out like this little downtrend resistance line. Okay, because it actually lined up with VWAP. You had one test, two tests, and then here would have been the third. And then I thought maybe that if this was an exhaustion gap, that we would have got maybe something, okay, like this out of Beyond Meat, and then we would have rolled it back down to retest the low of the day. So my bias on the trade, okay, was long. So I'm saying to myself, I want to get long. I want to get long Beyond Meat. I think we are going to continue to squeeze after we kind of settled in here, but we had to get above this 231. So we were consolidating in between 231 resistance and this 222, 223 area support. Okay, it's a big range, but that's Beyond Meat. Beyond Meat has a big range. Okay, you just got to be able to adjust your position size to account for that range. Okay, but once we pulled back down to this 223, what I actually did on this little tail right up here into VWAP, okay, right here, I actually bought put options. Okay, let me take you to my trade announcements. Here you guys can see I bought Beyond Meat 220 strike, today's expiration put options at $3. Stop loss if Beyond Meat gets above 231. Okay, so right there I buy the put options in case the stock does this. Okay, because I thought if we broke below this previous pivot low, we should go down to test the low of the day. Okay, but I'm thinking to myself, but my bias again is long. Okay, but I wanted to buy some put options here just in case we rolled over. I want to hedge my long position, which I don't have that long position yet, and this is where my execution could have been a little bit better. But I go into this saying I'm going to hedge my long position with buying put options. So I'm going to buy put options right here. And then if this level holds and the stock starts to climb its way back up, I'm going to get long the stock. Okay, so here we pop it back above VWAP, and right here I get long the actual stock. Take you back to my trade announcements. Here you guys can see, okay, so about 20 minutes after I bought the put options, I'm long Beyond Meat stock at 228.19, stop loss around 225. So now I've got put options and I've got the stock long. So what I'm doing right now is essentially creating a neutral position for myself while the stock is consolidating in between these two price points. And I'm saying to myself, whichever one of these price points breaks is the direction the stock is going to go. So I'm going to start to position myself in a neutral spot, long put up by buying put options, but then also being long the stock with the plan of once one of these levels is broken, I'm going to exit the wrong side of the trade, and I'm going to add to the side of the trade that I'm getting confirmation on, which going into the plan was I'm going to add to the stock and I'm going to drop the put options. The put options are just there to hedge my bet. Obviously, the put option position is a much smaller dollar amount because of the percentage that you're risking on that trade. It was an extremely aggressive move on those put options because it was today's expiration. The only options available for Beyond Meat are Friday expirations. So, I had to go with today's expiration, and I wasn't going to go all the way out because I thought if Beyond Meat did fail, if this in fact today, if the morning in fact was an exhaustion gap up and this thing fails, it has a lot of room to pull in. So I wanted to be aggressive with the put options in case we did fail. I'm going to make money to the downside, but the real intention is to set my position size on the put options to cover any potential loss I might incur by the long stock position. Okay, so what I actually did here was I bought 30 put options, 30 contracts at $3 a share, at $3 a contract right here. Okay, where I think I messed up a little bit is that was a little too much size for the hedge, because the goal of the hedge is just to cancel out any potential loss to the long side. Okay, so the second mistake that I think that I made on this trade is I waited too long to get long the stock. Okay, you see I waited 20 minutes. You saw I got long the stock all the way like up in here. Okay, I think that I waited too long to get long the stock, because what I actually ended up happening was, now I have a gap. I have a gap where I could actually lose money on both of these trades, where I'm long the stock and I'm in put options, and I can actually lose on both, even though they are the complete opposite pieces of the trade, because the stock can pull in and I'll lose on the stock position, and then but if the stock doesn't pull in enough, I can still lose on the put options. Even though the stock pulls in, I would need it to pull in aggressively and get down towards the low of the day in order for me to make money on the puts. Okay, so that's kind of where I messed up the execution a little bit. I should have like maybe gotten long the stock more like right in here, and close that gap in that narrow area of where I potentially could lose money on both sides of this trade. So that's where I could have executed this trade a little bit better. And again, I think I had too much size with 30 contracts. I should have maybe taken like 20 contracts, because at this point right here, I bought 1,000 shares of Beyond Meat. Okay, I'll take you back to my trade announcements at 228.19. Okay, so now I've got 1,000 shares long the stock, and I've got 30 put options. Okay, and I'm saying to myself, if we break above 231, I'm going to drop the put options, and I'm going to add to my stock position. Okay, so now we fast forward here. You see again, we see more resistance up at 231. We pull in here. We have a quick little test of VWAP. We recover, we regain VWAP, and then we start to go. And right here is where I added to the stock position. Okay, it was actually a little, it's like right up in here. It was like right around 230.50. Okay, so right in here is where I'm adding to the stock position, and bang, we break right through that 231. I didn't drop the put options right away. Here's why. Beyond Meat is extremely volatile, okay, and it has been lately, these last couple of days, it's been tailing through support and resistance levels like crazy and then regaining them. I did not want to get caught buying the stock up here, dumping the put options, and then having Beyond Meat pull right back in. Okay, then I would have got smoked on the long position. So that's why as soon as we popped through 231, I didn't right away dump the put options. I wanted to make sure we were holding this level before I dropped them, because now that I'm in a full maxed out long equity, I'm long the stock in a full position size. Okay, if the stock just took off and did this, I'm not in a rush to exit the put options, because now that I'm in the max position up to the long side on the stock, I will more than cover the loss on the put options with the long stock position. So I'm not in a rush. The whole point of me having those put options is a hedge in case this trade fails. Okay, we fail and then start to get back down below VWAP. I have put options that can offset some of the loss that I would incur by the long stock position. Okay, so once we broke through, you see we consolidated in here for a few minutes, and once I saw us consolidating here, I said, okay, we broke through the level, we're now holding that level, is becoming an area of support. Now I can go ahead and drop those put options. Back to my trade announcements, you guys can see at 11:37, sold out the 220, 726 put options at 85 cents. Now, that's a big loss. That's like a 70% loss on those put options. I lost like a little over $6,000 just on the put options alone. Okay, but I'm now in a maxed out long position on Beyond Meat stock. I had just under 2,000 shares. I got like an uneven fill. I ended up with like 1,889 shares. It was like this uneven number. But that's the share count that I was in now long the stock. So I can drop those put options, and then I can sit here now in a full max out long stock position, and I can let the trade work itself out and catch a nice like 10-point move. Back to my trade announcements, you guys can see I start taking some profit off the table. 232.48, 234, 237.25, and then the last piece at 232.57. Okay, so as the stock is starting to extend here, I'm just peeling profits off the table as we extend to new all-time highs, and I held on to one last piece. Okay, and then once we got right down into here, I got flat. Okay, the position right here. I didn't like this pullback. I was hoping we were going to hold above 236, 235, 236, and then continue higher in the afternoon, but this was too deep of a pullback. The volume started to pick up on that pullback, so I just bailed on it. We ended up bouncing back though a little bit, and now we're still trading slightly higher here after the bell. But the point is here, guys, that I was able to use put options as a hedge against my long position. Now, could I have made a lot more money had I not bought the put options? Yes, because I lost like over $6,000 just on the put options alone. Okay, so if I didn't do that and I was just long the stock, you could have added an extra $6K to the P&L. Okay. Oh, sorry, that's my phone. So you could have added, a lot more to my P&L, but that wasn't the point of the trade. I wanted to come into this trade and hedge my position because I wanted to get long. I was, yesterday I really went for it, and it got me twice. And I came into this and said, I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to take another swing at this, but I need to hedge myself. I've got to reduce my risk, because if I'm going to try to get that kind of size, if I'm talking about 1,000, 2,000 shares, if that's the kind of size that I'm going to get in this thing can whip around $5 either way against me like that. So I wanted to make sure I protected myself to the downside, and I did it by using put options. Now, again, the mistake I think I made is I went a little too heavy on the put options. 30 contracts down here I think was a little too much. I probably should have had like 20. Okay. And then like I said, when I got long the stock here, I probably should have got long, somewhere closer in here to kind of close that gap a little bit. But still, there's the long, there's the put option, there's the long, there's the add to the long, and then here is the exit, okay, on the put option. And then that's why this put option trade was a loss. And then here's the equity position, and you can see that I'm taking profits off as the stock starts to extend its way higher. So here's my take profits. Okay, and it was really a solid trade. This is advanced positioning, guys. Great strategy. It was a great trade. Still room for improvement on the execution, but I cannot begin to tell you how good this felt to nail this trade. I want to say real quick, thank you to everybody on that previous video, the one from yesterday. I got so much love from you guys in the YouTube community with the positive comments and the positive feedback. I really appreciate it. I want to let every single one of you know I really appreciate it. And that's the type of environment that I really enforce in True Trading Group, because we're a small, tight-knit group of traders. I'm not, the whole point of TTG is to have a group that puts an emphasis and a focus on education, and not just like, hey, buy here, sell here, follow me, you'll make a bunch of money. No, I want traders that truly want to learn, so that we can have, multiple sets of eyes that know what to look for during the day, but more importantly, support each other. Okay, when someone's down in the dumps or someone's self-confidence is bummed out, it's important to have a support team and a support system. It's important to have people you can go to and ask questions. It's important to have people that will help you, and that camaraderie that you can really rally behind. And I really felt that from the YouTube community yesterday, and I felt it in the TTG chat with everybody today and yesterday. I really just want to, thank you guys, because, that definitely played a part in me being able to come into the day today with a level head and nail this trade. This felt so damn good to end the week like this, end the week on a high note, and to come back with a big, solid day on Beyond Meat, and with a really nice trade. This is still on watch for Monday. They report earnings on Monday after the bell. What I'm thinking here, guys, I would not be the least bit surprised. Here's what my initial thoughts are. This can all change Monday morning, but here's my initial thoughts. My initial thoughts are we gap up again on Monday. We squeeze every last short out of this position. We get up to 250, 275. It gets parabolic. All the shorts get squeezed out. Then they report earnings. The earnings do not justify the valuation. The rug gets pulled out from underneath, and the stock comes crashing down. That's what I think may happen. Again, can all change on Monday. We really have to see what the stock does on Monday, but that's my initial thoughts going into the weekend. We'll see if we get it. If so, I would look to trade the stock long on Monday. I'm going to take advantage of the intraday squeeze again, but then I'll probably take a couple $1,000 and I'm going to go after a put option into earnings. Okay, just know if you guys are going to take that trade into earnings, you're going to be risking like at least 80-90% of whatever you put into that trade. Let's say you buy 220 strike put options, or you buy 240 strike put options, or whatever it is that you end up buying. And for whatever reason on earnings, it shoots up to 300, 320. You're going to lose 90% of your investment, because it'll be Friday's expiration. So you'll still have some extrinsic time value in that contract. So you won't lose 100% of it. but you're going to lose a huge chunk of it. So you have to understand that going into it. So I might take like $2,500, something like that, and just stick it in an aggressive put option. That's going to be, I'll risk 80-90% for the chance to make 200-300%. I like the risk reward. And I just can't imagine they're going to report anything in their earnings that's going to justify this insanely inflated valuation. So that's what I think. Again, this could all change on Monday. We'll see what happens. But great way to finish the week. And I hope this was a nice little lesson for you guys on how you can use options to hedge against a long position in a stock, or a short position, just the other way around. Instead of buying puts, you'll buy calls to hedge against a short position. All right. Take it easy, everybody. Have a great weekend. I'll see you guys on Monday.